Nicole here. How's it going, guys? I'm going to put a disclaimer on today, especially since we pulled the reverse Queen of Wands, and there's been a whole lot of reverse Queen of Wands energy going on today. Man. So I apologize in advance if anything offends you. I hope it doesn't, because I'm just going to be candid and hopefully not too offensive. So here we are at this lovely altar, um, water garden we have at my parents' house. It's the pinnacle of the Zen garden. It's kind of what you look at when I normally do my videos from down below. There's like stairs walking up. It's pretty cool. That's why I like to call it the altar. And I can't think of a better place than this to talk about sex and spirituality. So many times, and this came to me in my meditation while I was riding my bike today, which is why, and I jumped in the pool earlier, so that's why I look completely unkempt and whatever, but whatever. Sexuality and spirituality, um, two concepts that for years and years and years have not gone together, but have gone together. It's just the spirituality has repressed the sexuality so intensely that sexuality has become deviant and dirty and filthy and wrong, and it's ingrained in our brains to think of it in a filthy, dirty, wrong way. I'm here to kind of just start cutting that off, and we need to stop thinking of sex as something that should be hidden away and quiet. Now, I'm not necessarily pro pornography, because I think that pornography is definitely a warped view of sexuality as well. So I'm gonna start lighting this. We'll get super cleansed. So before I get too deep into it, so nobody gets pissed off at me. Let me share some of my insights. Okay. Well, first of all, um, movies, sex versus violence. Most parents will show their kids a violent movie over a sexual movie, or one with romance. As a child, I grew up with romance movies, which I feel blessed to have experienced, because it may have given me a higher standard, or a little bit of a raised expectation of it, but I think that's good. I want a high standard or an expectation of how love is supposed to be in my life. Maybe it was a little bit too high and a little impossible, because a lot of it's just the movies aren't necessarily real life, obviously, but at least it gave you a positive thing to look at, a positive, exciting outcome versus, oh, let's just chop off all their heads and disembowel them, like in The Patriot or whatever, or Braveheart. So what I want to really kind of go into, the sexuality and the spirituality that had been repressed so much by religion. We've seen in the last few years, just not only with religion, but with like sports organizations, where there has been abuse of children because of this sexual repression, and I believe it starts at a very young age, because I believe we are sexual beings as children, and it is only until a certain point when they are telling us not to, or like the nuns are slapping your hand, like, no, don't touch yourself at night, or you're killing kittens, or the devil will get you, or it's like, okay, so that's what you're implanting in a young child's head, and of course they're going to be sexually dysfunctional, because they think that sex equals bad things. And sex is probably one of the most spiritual and amazing acts possible, especially with somebody that you connect with on multiple different levels. I mean, there's different types of sex that we have out there, and it's important, I think, to have some different types of sex, just to kind of experience that as a whole. You have a boyfriend that maybe you think that you love, and you go all the way, and you have sex and you experience that, and then you guys break up, and then you kind of are like, okay, well, I understand what I liked about that, but what I didn't like about that. And I think it's really important to experience those things, because then you know what you like and you don't like. And you should be able to push that as far as possible, to your comfort level, because every person is different. Not everybody is going to like the same kind of sexual um, uh, interaction as someone else. And to have a clear boundary, safe words, and an understanding of what that you're going into a sexual agreement with someone, saying, okay, we're going to try this. We may not like it, but let's just see. I mean, I think it's an adventure and an exploration, and you only truly know what you do and don't like if you've experienced some of it, at least, or as far as you would like to go. I just wish that there was less condemnation and so much, uh, so many guidelines, especially like the sex before or marriage before sex, or sex before marriage argument. I mean, that really is just so not the way to go about it, because if you want to have sex, you probably want to have sex at 15, 16, sometimes younger, and you're not going to get married to that person. And when there's a more stigma or less accepted view of it, you're going to be more secretive. You're going to be more um, have more risk-taking behaviors, and that will lead to other things that are riskier for your health. Not using condoms and getting pregnant and getting STDs or STIs, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's really important to treat it as like a experience of spirituality and self-exploration and understanding, as well as love and devotion and cherishment, and sometimes even, as long as you're safe, uh, gay man at the gym. I mean, that's just an example. I mean, I think that anybody should be able to do it at the gym, but it's easier because they're in the same locker room, or steam room. Sure. I mean, I think we over condemn and underestimate a bit of a whore phase, if I'm going to say it nicely. I think that it's okay to want to experiment, and that maybe not one person is going to be along for the ride of all that, so you might be having multiple partners, but it's important to be on a level of understanding and agreement with them as well, which I think is really important, because consent is a big thing, and that we kind of have surpassed, especially for like women, because like it's I think it's not our job to be like, no, just because we had sex once before doesn't mean I want to have sex with you again, or that I'm gonna want to have sex with you in the future. Maybe it was just that one time. Maybe I didn't get attached. That kind of thing, where it's automatic assumption of that for women, and this is definitely going more into gender roles. So I think that instead of just assuming that someone else is always going to be attracted to you, we should kind of just treat it like, okay, you're attracted to me right now in this temporary moment, and we're going to explore that, and then we'll see where it goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, we'll go on. And I know a lot of people still really connect sex and emotions deeply, and that makes it hard for them. And so maybe that's not a path that they want to take. Maybe they want to be with one person and explore in that direction. And I think that is the safe way for them to do it, because everybody should pursue that path in their own way. But everyone should pursue it. And I think that this movement that we've had in the last 10, 15 years of burgeoning sexuality has been just this outcry of and closet opening of everything coming out, because it's been repressed for so many years, and that's why people are so offended, because they're like, oh my god, all this deep down darkness, insecurity of my own is being projected out there on the screen, and I'm freaking out because I can't handle this because I haven't dealt with my own issues. Hi, Oliver. You coming to join me? He wants to talk about sex too. Let's talk about sex, baby. I mean, we had a brief period in the 90s where, we were actually talking about safe sex and, in popular culture, but then it just got slammed because, oh my gosh, people actually talking about it? What? This is taboo. We can't talk about it. I mean, it still went on. People still do it. People still pay for it. People still want lots of different types of things and pretend that they don't because they want to uphold a certain image. And it's unfortunate because those images are usually projections of lies. And you guys know how I feel about lies. All right. It's 10 minutes. So I'm going to segue a little bit into gender fluidity and uh, gender transitions, because I think that it's important to talk about that as well. My theory, and I know a lot of people might find it controversial or not agree, and that's okay. This is just my theory that I've kind of been studying for a while and talking to people, is that I believe because we are and then here we go, reincarnated, and we choose lifetimes to go into, and we're all spirits. We choose to go into certain bodies and become certain people because we have a lesson to learn. And honestly, sometimes I think males or masculine spirits go into female bodies because they want to experience being a woman or having children or unfortunately experiencing the negative repercussions of being a woman in this era at this point. But I do acknowledge it's getting better. It's just unfortunate that every time we try and prove our points, we're just ignored. But I mean, it's really started to help treating them like they treat us, because they don't really like it. They're actually more sensitive about it. We're actually really strong when it comes to that, which has been our downfall because we've tolerated for too long. And then the moment that they get treated exactly like we do, oh man, it's like, oh, why are you being like such a, tangent. Sorry. Gender fluidity. I think that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a certain gender. You know, I think that the most important thing is to find your inner love and happiness before you explore those kind of options. I definitely really enjoy the articles that they are talking about when children take hormones, if they kind of want to go towards a certain gender, because I think that children kind of know. But then again, there is a certain point of we are in this life to experience certain things, and to be able to experience those things, we have to sometimes live with what, or use what we have already, and not try to add on to it until we've mastered what we have. That being said, I think that there's more than there's more than two genders, but we've mainstreamed it into just two, and I think that that if you want to be with somebody who is of the same gender identification as you, you can be with that, or the opposite gender identification, or and this is just an example because I haven't really I don't know all of the classifications of gender per se, but what we have as examples out now, we have boys, biological boys wanting and becoming girls, and then they still have their male genitalia. And so I think that if a man wants to be with a transsexual woman, or a transgender woman, that I think that is a valid relationship. If a woman wants to be with a transgender man, then that's a valid uh, relationship. If a woman wants to be with a transgendered woman, valid. A man wants to be with another man, valid. A gay man wants to be with a transgendered woman, valid. All of it, you just gotta find the person, and because it all comes back down to person, because we're all people. The outside does not matter, but we make it such a big deal because we have to have this certain projection of ourselves, and a lot of it is insecurities again, and not accepting yourself. And so it really comes down to just being here and knowing here first, and then you don't project your your just negative attitude and vile behaviors onto other people, because it's not appreciated. It's really not. As a person who's had it and then who's also given it, I've seen people don't appreciate it, and I never appreciated it as well. But it was always kind of like, sometimes when you receive it and then you're like, oh, well, if it's okay for somebody to give it to me, then I'm just going to give it back to them. No. Karmically not. So, I think I'm going to go to soulmate cards because we're getting pretty high up there on time, and I wanted to start cutting down these videos just to make it a little bit more time sensitive to watch, because I know taking 20 minutes out of your day to watch me, I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, my 26 subscribers, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna try and cut it down just a wee bit, so because I know that 20 minutes is hard to come by with a lot of people. Okay. Woo! Oh, I love that this is the first card. Well, the first one I'm gonna read, but that was the last one I pulled, and it was perfect. We're zooming right along here today with connections. Let go of inhibitions, be creative, and allow your imagination to run wild. Your love life will transform in ways you never thought possible. Exactly. Experiment and figure out what you like. Enjoy it. Don't be ashamed if you like to get tied up and spanked. Maybe you just had some issues with your childhood, or, it doesn't necessarily have to go back to that, but, I mean, maybe you actually enjoy getting spanked on the bottom. Or maybe you, like to dress up like a dominatrix. Or maybe you like to role play, certain things with someone because it makes things creative and interesting, and it keeps the spark alive with someone that you truly care about, even if sex can dwindle after a while, which I'm sure it's possible, because, I mean, as humans, I believe we're naturally non-monogamous in a way, because we crave change. I mean, change happens, and we change, and sometimes people don't always change along with us, and then so it's important to, if you want to hold on to somebody, learn how to work through those changes together. So experiment, have fun, go to the sex store and buy a wall dildo that you can stick on the window or something. Well, maybe not the window if you don't want people to watch you, or if you like that, then let them watch. I feel you forever in my heart. You are in my thoughts and in the air I breathe. You are a jewel, a sparkling diamond. Your heart is like a great ocean of love. Thank you. I'm not really going to elaborate on that. I feel like it was just a nice message, especially for me. I hope that someone feels me in their heart, and I feel all of you in my heart, because I'm very gracious that you guys are taking your time to watch me, and I know how valuable time is, and that I hope I'm contributing productively to the conversation and not just dropping too many F-bombs like I did yesterday. Sometimes the filters just Gone. Anyways, in your smile illuminates my soul. It makes me feel whole. There's no part of me that your love cannot fill. From the first moment we met, I am forever grateful, and I count my blessings beyond each day. Beloved Jewel. Smiles all around. Who doesn't light up when they see someone smiling at them? I mean, maybe some people, but they're just having a bad day and need that smile more than ever. Damn it. And lastly, a new love is coming your way, yet in order for it to manifest, you must first release the past. Are you ready? All it takes is a conscious desire to do so. Release the bonds of the chains that have been holding you back from experiencing the love that you desire. You know, want to feel things, want to do things, want to explore. You know, maybe you try something and you don't like it. Okay, move on to the next thing. Enjoy it. You like my my strange pattern dress? It's an optical illusion. Just like life is an illusion. It's what we make it. Okay, so then we're gonna go to the cards here. One thing I do know that I don't really enjoy is getting inappropriate pictures from people that I don't want them from. I know that, and you should never send something to someone that they don't want. I know text messaging is really easy these days, and you can just... but, you know, no more. No, thank you. You know what? Next time, if someone does that to you and you're not interested, you should send them like a picture of something really awful, so that they get it in their brain that that's not a good idea. Negative reinforcement. Wait, no. Positive. I don't know. Some kind of reinforcement that's being like, nah, nah, nah. Okay. Interesting. Alright, we got a little mix of cards today. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Definitely feeling a little Queen of Wands reverse today. Like, very fiery. She's known as sometimes the very blunt, upfront, but a little bit reckless queen. A little crazy, a little wild, very fiery. Also, she's the cheater queen, or the horny queen. She wants to get down and dirty. And it's very appropriate for this whole sexual conversation. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not down and dirty with just anybody, alright? People choose who their partners are. Consent is very important. No means no. Unless it means yes and you have a safe word. But as long as you have a safe word. Then we have the Ten of Wands upright, Ace of Pentacles upright, and the Six of Swords upright. So it looks like we have some things moving forward. Looks like there is some practical beginning that's happening, because it's in the upright. Normally when it's in reverse it means that there's still something not quite happening yet. And the Ten of Wands is a lot of thoughts, stresses, anxieties, just a lot of things, a lot of components that are weighing down something. So, and then we have the Six of Swords upright, which is all about movement forward, thoughts moving forward, ideas going forward, changing of minds, in a sense. And I think it's really important. Tomorrow, I think there's going to be something new. There's going to be some movement forward, some changing of minds, some changing with a new practical idea or beginning happening, that may lift off some of these burdens that have been piled upon probably this poor Queen of Wands. Is why she's upside down, because she's like, fuck this, I'm going out, ah! You know. Haven't done that before, ever. No. Yeah, Queen of Wands. She gets tired of carrying those wands sometimes, and she's just like, alright, you're done. No more wands. Oh, and the punctuation mark is the tower and the hierophant. Ha! So definitely tower carded. Just busting apart. So there's definitely going to be some busting apart of things going on. Changing of minds, hearts, ideas. We're doing it different. It's not staying the same. Let go of all those wands and go for it. Be. Release the past. The Hierophant is talking about spirituality and what's right for you. Really, it doesn't. It's not talking about necessarily a church or an organization. Although they do reference that because that's usually what spirituality was, attributed to. Oh no, we're getting to 25. I'm sorry. I hope this one was worth it. So I think it's like you got to find the right way for you, and that's going to revolutionize your world in a sense where you are now living exactly for how you need to live and how you need to have your sexual experience. You need to have your romantic experience. You need to have your experience in life, relationships with people. And we don't do that nearly enough, which is why I think people are always so upset and mad. Because it's like, it builds up and it just creates this 10 of wands just weighing you down, and release it. Let it go and explore and have some tower cards going on, you know? Let's do it. Alright, I'm gonna stop now. I hope you guys have a great day. I forget what day it's gonna be. It's gonna be the 26th, but I forget what day of the week. Ugh, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's Friday.